absolute or broken absolute barriers, records, and have done incredibly well. XRP, to name one, Hedera, Litecoin, Solana, Ethereum, you name it. But unfortunately, we're not really seeing that react with price. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of talk to you what I'm seeing, or talk to you about what I'm seeing as far as market sentiment goes. Primarily because I create content on every single social media platform. And the reason why that's relevant is because I'm able to give you guys insights on the different sentiment on each different platform. Because again, a lot of times we don't get a lot of crossover. For example, with YouTube, we don't get a lot of crossover with Instagram or maybe TikTok or maybe X, whatever that may be. So let's go ahead and talk about it, because sentiment is at all-time lows. Bitcoin's dumping. I think we're trading at like $95,000, something absolutely ridiculous. And it's incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating for a lot of people because in crypto, we have been so spoiled every single cycle to get crazy, insane pumps and gains. And I'm getting a lot of people in my comments, well, Wendy, you said X, Y, and Z was going to happen. And yeah, a lot of that does happen. So let's go ahead and address all these things and kind of talk about what's happening. So a lot of us thought that in quarter 3 of 2025, we're going to get like some crazy altcoin pumps or altcoin season, primarily because of these crypto spot ETFs, but that didn't happen. And unfortunately, that didn't happen because there were two kind of guys, black swan events that did happen. What are those black swan events? What do they mean? And what's going on? So in October, we had the great crypto liquidation event, where I want to say about $1.2 billion was wiped from the crypto markets. And that was really, really bad because a lot of people got wrecked. Again, when we have that much that's liquidated, doesn't mean that people lost that much money, just their active positions were closed. And that was something a lot of people didn't necessarily think was going to happen, and that caused a lot of bearish market sentiment. Then we had the shutdown. When we had the shutdown, that was something a lot of people didn't expect either. And when we had the shutdown in the US, that really halted a lot of the regulatory advancements that we were going to see in crypto, primarily with these spot ETFs. So it caused a little bit of hiccups and issues. And unfortunately, when those types of things happen, when you have black swan events, when you have events that just come out of nowhere, it kind of hinders gains, and it hinders what the market wants to do. So bearish price action happens. And with that being said, I mean, what are we going to do? So when that happens, we generally pivot. And pivoting means that we change the way that we view the market, et cetera. And right now we have Bitcoin dumping, altcoins are tanking as well. And the reason why this is happening, possibly, I don't know what's going on with YouTube either. I guess this didn't get pushed out to enough people. Very, very weird stuff. But anyways, so market sentiment's down because everybody anticipated this crazy altcoin season, et cetera. But one of the things we talked about on the show, I want to say it was a couple weeks ago, as I was sitting and talking to one of my friends that have been in the industry in a long time, and they're just like, we were just kind of talking about what's going on with the current state of the market, because we're all anticipating this altcoin season, but we're not necessarily getting it. And some of, the term bear market got brought up, and we're talking about a bear market. Bear markets generally only last for about a year, and then number starts to go up. So we very well could be in a bear market. And again, when things change in the market, then we need to kind of pivot. And when we pivot, it could indicate different analysis. So there's a lot of people that are kind of upset about that, and I understand that makes sense. But realistically, at the end of the day, good traders and good investors are able to pivot. And I know a lot of people in retail don't necessarily understand that, primarily because it's a weird concept. We're just really used to investing. So as far as the current state of the market is a lot of people think that we're in a bear market. A lot of people think number is going to continue to decline and go down and all of those things. And that could be true. We could definitely be in a bear market. Also too, as far as shout outs go, you have to be a channel member. And I will definitely give you a shout out. If you're not a channel member, we just don't do that because we got to. That's how we do it over here. So that being said, we very well might be in a crypto bear market, and number might be going down, and all this crazy stuff might happen, and it might be really, really volatile. However, at the same time, we might not be. We might just kind of be trading alongside traditional finance and stocks and whatnot. So as far as XRP goes and a lot of these other crypto assets, we're noticing that we have the XRP spot ETF approved. We have the Hbar spot ETF approved, Litecoin, stake Solana, Ethereum, all kinds of stuff. So that's bullish, that's good. But another thing is a lot of people anticipated once the first XRP spot ETF went live, or even the Rex OSPI, the derivative of it, that everything was going to pump and go crazy. But that's not how ETFs work. ETFs generally issuer will buy the asset before, and then buy the asset before, so prices could be impacted before. So with all these different inflows, regardless of all the records being broken, it's not going to impact price generally right away, unless retail or there's a lot of money that comes in and starts buying. So with that being said, there's a lot of people that were very, very upset, even though the XRP spot ETF absolutely broke barriers. So one of the scenarios that could possibly happen is that, you know, we just reopened up, which there's another potential shutdown, end of January 2026, really kind of depending what's going on with all these people. So we'll have to kind of see about that. But another possibility that could potentially save the market is we get all 150 plus spot ETFs and other crypto ETFs approved. Hey, Lawrence, thank you so much for being here. I know YouTube's being weird right now. I don't know what's going on with that. But what could happen is we get all these spot ETFs approved very, very soon or whatnot. And then once they're live, then we can start to see money flowing into the market that way. And again, it's going to take some time. We're looking at ETFs versus actual crypto. They work a lot differently, and these issuers work a lot differently. Traditional finance moves a lot slower. And again, you can actually just buy the actual asset instead of buying like the derivative, the ETF. But if people and institutions are dumping money into the ETFs, it's going to take a long time to have that capital actually push into the market. And we kind of saw that with Ethereum, because remember, we had the Ethereum spot ETF, BlackRock spot ETF launched a couple years, I want to say a little bit back, a year or so back, and we didn't really see a lot of volume come in until we saw a lot of the DATs and whatnot happen. So that could be another factor, is that we wait until all these spot ETFs are approved, and then it takes a couple months for capital to start flowing in. So that's a scenario that could potentially happen while we're in this little bit of a bear market, and then we start to go up after that. So that is a scenario that can happen. But as far as market sentiment goes, and this being the worst bull market ever, the reason why a lot of people are saying it's the worst bull market ever, people that are actively trading and taking profits, you guys have done okay. People that are realizing their gains, you guys have done okay. One of the things that we fail to talk about a lot is that like Hbar, XRP, Ethereum. So, well, I don't want to say Ethereum because it's a lot larger market cap, but with like XRP, we saw it pump from like 50 cents to what, $3? Thank you so much, Lawrence, for the $10 super chat. We are going to have a good day. Lowe's got a lot of stuff today, and she sure praised Jesus last night real hard. But we saw XRP pump from like 50 cents to $3, Hbar from 5 cents to like 20 cents, whatever, you know. And with that being said, that could classify as a bull market. And there are people that are actually trading these or were holding and then realize profits. They're doing well. So those are the people that are winning. And then we have the meme coin people that was just a bunch of capital rotation between a select number of people that did well with that, which cool, fine, fantastic. That's their business. Also make sure to smash the like, guys. So with that being said, the bull, like generally when we see a crypto bull market, literally everything pumps, and we really didn't get that happen this time, which is freaking crazy. So that's why a lot of people are upset and market sentiment is not where it is. But at the same time, that's a lot of entitlement. And a lot of people are going to be asking, we're in a bull market or bear market, these analysts are wrong, blah, blah, blah. Well, unfortunately, it's hard for an analyst to be right when we have two massive events that cause a lot of issues, the shutdown and the great liquidation. When you have those types of events that happen, the market's going to react accordingly. And again, most people weren't able to see that coming. So moral of the story, this has been a really, really rough bull market. Some people think the bull market hasn't started. Some people think we're in a bear market now. And realistically, shout out to Mr. R, thank you for being here. Realistically, nobody really knows what's happening in the market. We're just kind of watching and whatnot. So moral of the story, this was a pretty rough market the last couple of years. Things are changing drastically in the world as far as AI and everything, and things have been a lot different really since the panorama. So at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going on with the market. We can really kind of try to time the market and trade actively, etc. But really at this time, we need to acknowledge it's been a rough market and that things are tough right now. And a lot of people are just kind of like fed up and over it, which is, you know, I get it, totally understand. But at the end of the day, anything in life that can bring you a lot of wealth or be incredibly successful, and you have to work really hard at it. And right now, there's a lot of things in the background. So if we do get another crazy type of pump, I think it's going to be with the ETFs. And again, that's not going to happen. Yeah, we're still waiting for those stimmy checks, but it's not going to happen overnight. That's going to be like a couple months of just inflows and inflows and inflows and inflows and inflows. So moral of the story, we don't know if it's a bull or bear. We're just kind of here chilling and going to continue to watch and stay updated. And I will be back tomorrow with a more in-depth market analysis around 10 a.m. on my on the big screen. Anyway, sending y'all love and light, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.